Number 1. Clinton police officer dismissed for installing a GPS scrambler in his patrol car.
Chris McKinney was fired for altering his vehicle, as you'll see, lying to a Clinton Police Department lieutenant when he was confronted.
In a recent incident, a Clinton police officer faced termination after installing a GPS scrambler in his patrol vehicle. The officer in question, Christopher McKinney, explained his actions by citing his father's affinity for conservative commentator Alex Jones. Internal affairs documents reveal that on September 7, 2022, Clinton Police Chief Vaughn Becker informed Lieutenant Carl Bailey and Lieutenant Larry Miller that Officer McKinney's GPS unit was not appearing on the system. 2 days later, Lieutenant Miller and Lieutenant Bailey approached Officer McKinney regarding the malfunctioning GPS device as described in Lieutenant Bailey's written account. Lieutenant Bailey reported that he approached Officer McKinney's vehicle unit number 2214 and observed a small black device with an antenna plugged into a power port. Dashcam footage from the confrontation captured Officer McKinney claiming that the device was a
What you got plugged in here?
That's my Wi-Fi extender, 5G extender.
This is?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Bailey continued his questioning about the suspicious device, asking,
Sure it's not a scramble?
McKinney told the lieutenant that he obtained the device from his father, who heard conspiracy theories about the harmful effects of 5G technology, popularized by the notorious conspiracy theorist and political commentator Alex Jones. Following the incident, Chief Becker sent a letter to Officer McKinney, notifying him of an internal investigation into his conduct. The investigation concluded that Officer McKinney had been deceitful and knowingly and willingly tampered with records, as stated in a summary letter by Lieutenant Bailey.
If an officer is untruthful, it is usually an employment death sentence, so to speak.
Attorney Don Bosch also talked about the potential ramifications of a police officer getting fired for willfully lying to another police officer.
It jeopardizes any case they may have been involved in, either as a witness or an arresting officer.
Consequently, Lieutenant Bailey expressed his recommendation for Officer McKinney's termination from the Clinton Police Department in the same letter. It is worth noting that Officer McKinney had previously been reprimanded for neglecting mandatory training and driving at reckless speeds of up to 109 miles per hour. Additionally, the Clinton City School District has also lodged complaints against Officer McKinney, accusing him of regularly dining with his girlfriend on school grounds while serving as a school resource officer at Clinton Elementary. An email from Kelly Johnson, the director of schools in the city of Clinton, detailed an incident where one teacher reported that she witnessed her rubbing his leg while visiting. Johnson also mentioned an incident in which Officer McKinney sat in his girlfriend's car in the parking lot while a student attempted to escape through the back door. Currently, the Clinton Police Department is seeking to revoke Officer McKinney's state certification, which permits him to work as a police officer. A hearing has been scheduled for July 2023 to address this matter. If you think this cop crossed the line, wait to hear our next story, where a traffic officer completely lost control over his emotions when a driver misinterpreted his instructions. Number 2. Waterbury cop fired for berating driver during traffic stop. Back in December 2022, a police officer was relieved of his duties from the Waterbury Police Force after a video surfaced showcasing his overly aggressive behavior towards a driver while managing traffic.
Police officer is off the job.
The police department fired the officer after investigating how he handled a recent traffic stop, and body cam video shows a very heated exchange with the driver.
James Hinkle, formerly an officer with the Waterbury Police Department, lost control of his emotions when a female SUV driver failed to notice his gesture to halt and proceeded to drive through an intersection. As she drove through, the officer's hand slammed the side of the vehicle, which is when she realized that she had to pull over. The department's footage of the event revealed Officer Hinkle engaging in a heated confrontation with the driver. Officer Hinkle accused the driver of intentionally trying to run him over. He walked toward the driver on foot and demanded that she park over to the side of the road and then into a nearby parking lot, as captured by his body camera. In the footage, Hinkle can be heard viciously shouting at the woman.
Pull in the parking lot! Pull in the parking lot! We're in this parking lot right now!
I'm so sorry.
Pull over!
Oh my gosh, please don't yell at me, sir.
Pull over now!
Oh my, is there someone else with you?
No, pull over, goddammit! I'm not repeating myself. Get out of the roadway and pull over!
Once the driver parked her car in the parking lot, Officer Hinkle approached her window. Then he started berating the driver endlessly, despite her profuse apologies and explanations that she hadn't realized she was supposed to stop.
Did you not see this bright yellow vest standing in the middle of the street?
No, I did. I thought you were leaving.
No,
before.
this means stop. This means stop.
I didn't see that until I was already past.
And then you still drove by me.
I'm so sorry, sir. sir. I didn't.
License and registration now.
Refusing to listen to anything the driver said, Officer Hinkle continued his rage-filled rant, questioning why she had endangered him by attempting to run him over despite his presence in the street with flashing lights.
You almost ran over an officer standing in the middle of the street.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what was going on. That was very confusing.
It's a bright yellow jacket standing in the middle of the street. What don't you understand?
All the other cars were going.
No, they weren't. You were the only vehicle coming from that way. You almost ran me over in the middle of the street.
The officer then asked the woman to come out of her car while he looked at her ID and driver's license. He then asked her where she worked and what she was doing in the area. She told the officer that she was headed to Target. Right after that, the driver received another earful from the officer about her irresponsible
An
driving.
important factor that me standing in the middle of the street,
Sir, I
stopping you, and you try to run me over.
Sir, I swear.
And then you looked
I
at me,
didn't
you
try-
waved at me, and then you kept going anyway.
I swear I was not trying to run you over.
The woman was on the verge of tears. Despite that, Hinkle at one point even threatened to put her in handcuffs.
Keep going.
I saw your hand before, and it was too late to stop. And I
No,
put
it
my
wasn't.
hand
You
up
were doing
saying,
10
"I'm
miles an
sorry."
hour and you still drove by me.
I'm sorry.
You didn't even attempt to stop your car.
Sir,
You're lucky you're not in handcuffs right this second.
I'm very sorry, sir. I really.
Explain to my kids why they don't have a dad a week before Christmas, because you're trying to run somebody over.
Moments later, another police car arrived with a sergeant, stepping out onto the scene along with another officer. Hinkle handed the officer the license and ID for him to run through their system. Right before the footage ends, Hinkle walks up to the woman one final time and begins to, very condescendingly, explain to her the do's and don'ts of when she spots a police vehicle with flashing lights in the street.
Anytime you see flashing red and blue lights in the middle of the street, it means there's cops present.
What should I say?
No, stop talking. Stop talking. And it means you need to pay attention because there's going to be police officers out and about, okay?
Then, out of nowhere, things escalate once again.
Stop,
All of
stop.
this. I'm sorry.
Then what were you doing in your
I was
vehicle?
paying attention to the cars in front of me.
There were no cars in front of you. There were 0 cars in front of you. You were the only vehicle traveling on that road for 500 feet. There were no vehicles in front of you.
Seeing how hysterical Hinkle was being, the sergeant told him to calm himself and led him away from the scene.
She almost runs me over.
You need to calm yourself.
The woman, who still remains anonymous, was ticketed at the time, but the charges were dropped later on. Soon after the incident, an internal affairs investigation was conducted to review Officer Hinkle's behavior and actions during the traffic stop. He was put on administrative leave for the time being. Following an internal investigation, Officer Hinkle was terminated on January 9, 2023, after his conduct was found to be in violation of department policies.
A 7-year veteran, James Hinkle of the Waterbury Police Department, now fired for actions on a December 13th traffic incident. Now, this investigation that has just been completed was brought on by a complaint, but not by the motorist involved in the incident, but rather by the sergeant, the supervising sergeant that came upon the scene.
Waterbury Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo condemned Officer Hinkle's treatment of the driver, deeming it unacceptable and not in line with the professionalism expected from officers in the department.
It's shuddering, right? It really rocks you to the core. It does me anyway. And I'm been in this profession a very long time, and that's just not the way we handle ourselves.
During a press conference, Chief Spagnolo said that this incident was brought to his attention by other officers in the department. "I haven't seen a case in my 30 years here that has undermined the public's trust more than this," the chief said. "It really rocks you to the core."
We are looking to gain trust from the citizens in our community, not belittle them, not berate them, or not scare them.
Officer Hinkle, who had served in the department for 7 years, has the option to file a grievance over his termination. The police department's union has announced that it is working closely with its legal counsel to review the incident, ensuring that Officer Hinkle receives all the rights afforded to him under the collective bargaining agreement. Chief Spagnolo also told the press that he had a talk with the woman after her encounter with Hinkle. "She's been very amicable to us. She's come to the police station and been in my office and told me she recognizes that almost everyone at the Waterbury Police has treated her with respect," he said. If you want to watch more of these videos and keep up with the latest updates on these cases, please subscribe to the channel.